Greetings, Speaker. Greetings to the entire 29 July movement, 29 soldiers and battalions of EFF, fellow councillors, city manager, council staff, as well as the public at large. I want to borrow from the MMC Morero in his budget speech when he said we are living on borrowed time, especially when they mention GDS 2040. Let us give some background. GDS 40, in 2015, the UN adopted what you call Sustainable Developmental Goals. And from that, the government of ANC came with the NDP, which is neoliberal, according to us. And in 2014, before the UN or the ANC, the EFF had its first policy conference in 2014 to give the 7 cardinal pillars as well as complementary pillars. We were addressing the triple challenges: poverty, unemployment, and inequality, plus more. In fact, we captured the policies in line with what is required to be done here. So, the EFF does not speak about 2030, which the GDS, which the sustainable goals or the NDP require. We are putting agency into these things. We are saying they speak about now, not tomorrow. And this is the language that the poor, downtrodden, and indigent residents of Johannesburg speak and understand. It is the character of EFF, which is also correctly epitomized by the MMC, Public Safety, Dr. Mgini Tswako's slogan when he says, Manje Namhlanje. The EFF is tickled and emboldened to do more. We remain vindicated that the motions that it raised are implemented through this budget. Provision of sanitary towels, provisions of service stands, all EFF motions. We do acknowledge the budget allocation for the upskilling of the security personnel. However, we continue to insource, which is also an EFF motion. We still need more money to urgently upskill the already in-source personnel. We acknowledge the 71 million transitional allocations whilst you look at hijack building, which of course it is an EFF motion. Hijack buildings is an EFF motion, and we want to see the student accommodation also included. Today, through the MMC of Public Safety, who is deployed by the EFF, is here to ensure that it is done. We do not care who implements our policies and motions in line with our manifestos or policies. As EFF, we are not friends with Action SA. In fact, we'll never be friends. Action SA had an opportunity to implement these items, and yet they failed. We owe no one an explanation on how we fight, and our radicalism can never be measured by Action SA. Indeed, we hold 2 portfolio and we are paying a councillor. Sit down. We are part of this government, and in our own conditions, you failed. We have never seen the EFF prescribing to Action SA on how the book of Mashaba must be written. Since you trust and envy EFF ship, join and stop whining about its radicalism, which is its own to appreciate. As the EFF, we would like to raise huge concerns that there is no budget allocation for public safety on critical items. Namely, there is no money available for infrastructure completion of the central fire station, and yet not allocation. No allocation for traffic wardens, and here we're not talking about EPWs. There is no allocation of IOC budget, which is meant for the two-way radios, tear gas sprays, and other tools necessary to create a safer city. We also raise concern about the grants allocated and yet not used by this council. We wonder why, as it benefits the poor and downtrodden people of the city of Johannesburg. Grants should not just stay idle and not be used as a form of showing good balance sheet. The people need this. There is an introduction of what is called Illegal Occupation Building Inspection Unit, and we want to highlight that it is structured under the wrong department. The MMC of Public Safety is highly capable, competent, energetic, and highly qualified. It is glaringly obvious that this unit belongs, and its scope points to the public safety portfolio. If the COJ has a priority of providing a safer city, why are you not allocating the budget for these critical items mentioned? MMC Morero, please use the grants. Recently, we had to receive what do you call it, grants from the Division of Revenue Bill. And these grants, for example, municipal housing emergency grants, urban settlement development grants, we want these grants to be used. So it was never explained on how these grants have been used in the previous budget. As EFF, we approve medium-term budget and note the related documentation.